Now, let's make the tail. A coffee dog uses coffee yarn for the tail. The brown dog uses brown yarn for the tail. Take out the yarn in the corresponding color. First, hang the yarn on your hand. Next, make a magic ring. Wrap the yarn tail around your middle finger once. Pinch the crossing point of the yarn with your thumb and middle finger. Take out the crochet hook. Insert the crochet hook through the loop on your middle finger. The crochet hook is positioned in front of the working yarn on your index finger. The hook tip is facing towards you. Next, rotate the crochet hook, so the hook head faces the working yarn. Then catch the working yarn. Pull the yarn through the loop on your middle finger. Next, rotate the crochet hook, so the hook head faces towards you. This way, the loop on your middle finger forms a magic ring. Now, crochet a chain stitch to secure the magic ring. First, push the loop on the crochet hook to the back of the hook. This makes the loop a bit bigger. This makes it easier for the hook to pass through the loop. Then, wrap the crochet hook around to the back of the working yarn. Press the hook head down to catch the working yarn. Pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. And that's how you make a chain stitch. The chain stitch acts as a height boost and it is not counted as a stitch. Next, for round 1, crochet 1 chain stitch in 5 single crochet. The first single crochet, insert the crochet hook through the magic ring. Wrap the hook head around the working yarn from behind. Press the hook head down to catch the working yarn. Pull the yarn through the magic ring. You can lift the crochet hook up a little bit. Make the loops on the crochet hook a bit bigger. Push the loops on the crochet hook to the back of the hook. This helps keep the loops the same size. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook again. Pull the yarn through the 2 loops on the hook. And that's how you finish a single crochet. Take out a stitch marker. Use the stitch marker to mark the first stitch of round 1. After that, mark the first stitch of every round with the stitch marker. The second single crochet. The third single crochet. The fourth single crochet. The fifth single crochet. Five single crochet are done. Let's count the stitches. Pull the loop big and remove the crochet hook. Start counting from where you attach the stitch marker. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. The stitch count is correct. Note that this loop is not counted as a stitch. Then hold the single crochet you just made with one hand. Hold the yarn tail with the other hand. Then pull the yarn tail to tighten the magic ring. Keep tightening until there are no gaps in the center. Next, Place the yarn tail on the back side of the fabric. Round 1 is now completed. The stitch patterns from round 2 to round 11 are exactly the same. Crochet 5 single crochet in each round without increasing or decreasing. Let's start crocheting round 2. Put the crochet hook back into the loop. Then pull the working yarn to adjust the loop size. Hold the yarn back onto your hand. The first single crochet. Remove the stitch marker. Use the stitch marker to mark the first stitch of the second round. A second single crochet. Note that this is the first stitch we just crocheted. The second single crochet. The third single crochet. The fourth single crochet. The fifth single crochet. Five single crochet are done. Round 2 is finished. Now you can see the fabric is a bit curled. Let's tidy up the fabric. Make sure round 1 bulges outward. Pull the yarn tail. Tighten the center of round 1 a bit more. The crocheting methods from round 3 to round 11 are exactly the same as round 2. Please refer to the round 2 crochet rounds 3 to 11 on your own. In round 3, crochet 5 single crochet without increasing or decreasing. Remove the stitch marker. Mark the first stitch. The second one. The third one. The fourth one. The fifth one. Round 3 is completed. Please crochet rounds 4 to 11 on your own. After finishing round 11, it should look like this. Once we finish the repeated rounds, we need to count the rounds. Check if there are any extra or missed rounds. Pull the loop back. Remove the crochet hook. Let's count the rounds. Here is round 1. Round 2. Round 3. Round 4. Round 5 and round 6. Round 7 and round 8. Round 9 and round 10. Round 11. The number of rounds is correct. Next, pull the loop large. Leave a yarn tail of 6 to 8 inches here for sewing. Cut the yarn. Pull out the yarn tail. Thread the yarn tail onto a sewing needle to even end. Pass the yarn tail through the stitch just to the left of the stitch marker. Then, remove the stitch marker. Tighten the yarn. Next, thread the yarn tail back through the stitch where it originally came out. And just like that, you've made an invisible finish. Pull the yarn tail out through the adjacent stitch. And just like that, the tail is completed. Now let's sew the parts of the dachshund. Using this brown puppy as a demo. First, make the nose. Pull out about 15 inches of black yarn. The black yarn has 4 strands. We'll pull out 2 of them. Pull them out one by one. Then twist the 2 strands together. Use the thinner sewing needle from the kit. This one is thinner. This one is thicker. We'll use the thinner sewing needle. Use the yarn with one end long and the other end short like this. We'll embroider an inverted triangle nose just above round one of the head. Insert the sewing needle from any spot. Pull the needle out from the spot we just pointed to. Don't pull the yarn tail completely inside the fabric. First, embroider the outline of an inverted triangle here. Then fill in this inverted triangle. Sew a few more stitches horizontally. Pull both yarn tails out from the same spot. You can adjust the shape of the nose. Tie a knot with the 2 yarn tails. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. You can also use a sewing needle to insert it from the side. Pick the knot into the fabric. The nose is now completed. Next, embroider the eyeliners. Pull out about 9 inches of black yarn. Pull out 2 strands from it. 1 strand at a time. Then combine the 2 strands. Thread them onto a thinner sewing needle. Use it with one end longer and the other end shorter. Insert the sewing needle from any spot. Bring it out a little beside the front of the eye. This spot isn't the ideal place. We can reinsert the needle where the needle came out. Pull the yarn out at the spot you want. Don't pull the yarn tail completely inside the fabric. The eye line goes backward like this. Insert the needle into a stitch behind the eye. Pull the yarn out from any spot. Then flick the eyeliners upwards. Next, insert the sewing needle where it just came out. Pull it out a little above the eye. Pick up this strand of yarn. Then insert the needle a little bit beside it. Pull the yarn out from any spot. Tidy up the eyeliners. One side of the eyeliners is done. Pull both yarn tails out from the same spot. Tie a knot with the yarn tails. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. Use the same method to embroider the upper eyeliners on the other side. This is how the upper eyeliners look when finished. Next, take out about 9 inches of white yarn. Use a thicker sewing needle. Use the yarn with one end longer and the other end shorter. Use white yarn to embroider the lower eyeliners. Insert the needle at any spot next to the eye. Pull out just below the black eyeliner at the front of the eye. Don't pull the yarn tail completely inside the fabric. Then insert the needle from the back of the eye here. The insertion point should be close to the eyeball. Pull the needle out at any spot. Then tidy up the lower eyeliner. This way, the lower eyeliner is finished. Pull the yarn tail out from the same spot. Tie the 2 yarn tails together to secure them. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the knot inside the fabric. Embroider the lower eyeliners on the other side using the same method. The lower eyeliners are completed. Next, let's sew on the ears. First, let's find where to sew the ears. The ears are sewn onto round 10 of the head. Ears round 1. Round 2. Round 3. Round 4. Round 5. Round 6. Round 7. Round 8. Round 9. Round 10. Insert the sewing needle into round 10 on top of the head. Step back and take a look at the head. The sewing needle should go into the center stitch on top of the head. Weave 6 stitches between the 2 ears. Count 3 stitches to the left and right from where the sewing needle is. Attach a stitch marker here. Attach a stitch marker on the side at the confirmed spot too. Check again to see if the positions are symmetrical. If they're not symmetrical, you can adjust the positions. This way, it looks more balanced. Take out the ear for sewing. Thread the yarn tail of the ear onto the sewing needle. Use the thicker sewing needle. Insert the needle at the stitch marker position and pull it out through the stitch next to it. Remove the stitch marker. Then pass through the other side at the top of the ear. Pull the yarn tight. Sew one stitch. Then go back to this side. Sew one more stitch. Pull the yarn out 3 stitches down. Also pull it out from the matching spot on the ear. Sew a stitch like this to make the ear fit the head better. Pull the yarn out from any spot. You don't need to cut the yarn tail yet. After sewing the other ear, make sure the ears are symmetrical. Then cut the yarn tail. Sew the other ear the same way. Take out the other ear. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Insert the needle into the stitch next to the stitch marker. Pull the needle out at the stitch marker. Remove the stitch marker. Insert the needle from the other side at the top of the ear. After tightening the yarn, thread it back through the next stitch. Sew one more stitch. Then, thread the yarn downward. About 3 stitches down. Thread through the ear again. Pull the needle out at any spot. Adjust the head and ears. Check if both ears are symmetrical. Pull the yarn tail out from the same spot. Tie a knot. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the knot inside the fabric. The ears are now sewn on. Next, sew the head and body together. The body should be sewn under the head. Sew round 11 to round 12 of the head, and round 3 to round 4 of the body together. First, find the sewing position. Here's round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8, round 9, round 10, round 11. Attach a stitch marker before round 11. Attach a stitch marker after round 12. Find rounds 3 to 4 of the body. Round 1, round 2. Attach a stitch marker before round 3. Attach a stitch marker after round 4. Next, move on to sewing. Sew the brown dog using brown yarn. Sew the coffee dog using coffee yarn. For the body of the coffee dog, place the position of the yarn change facing down. This way, the staggered yarn won't show on the dog's back. Take about 20 inches of brown yarn. Thread the yarn onto a thicker sewing needle. Insert the needle anywhere first. Pull it out from where the stitch marker is attached. Don't pull the yarn tail inside the body. Remove one stitch marker. Then place the head over. Then pass through the green stitch marker. Pull out from the blue stitch marker here. Remove the stitch marker. Insert the needle here from this blue stitch marker. Pull out from a stitch next to the third round of the body. Pull the yarn tight. Continue sewing. Insert from a stitch next to round 11 of the head. Pull out from a stitch next to round 12. Sew one stitch onto the body again. Pull the yarn tight. Thread the yarn to the side and sew one stitch. After sewing, pull the yarn tail out from the same spot. Then tie a knot to secure it. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the knot inside the fabric. This way the head and body are sewn together. Next, let's sew the limbs. We'll start with the front legs. The front legs are sewn onto the body between round 4 and round 6, counting from front to back. There are 3 stitches between the 2 front legs. Round 1. Round 2. Round 3. Round 4. Attach a stitch marker at the front of round 4. Round 5 and round 6. Attach a stitch marker at the back of round 6. There are 3 stitches between the 2 front legs. Next, find the position for the other front leg. Adjust the stitch marker so both sides are symmetrical. These 2 spots are pretty symmetrical. Let's start by sewing on a front leg. Thread the yarn tail onto a thicker sewing needle. Insert the needle at the stitch marker. Pull the needle out at the 6th round. Then pick up a stitch on the front leg. First, secure the front and back positions. Then sew all around the outline of the front leg. You can add a little stuffing cotton. Then keep sewing. After sewing, pass the yarn tail through the fabric several times. You don't need to cut the yarn tail yet. Wait until after sewing the other front leg. Make sure both sides are symmetrical, then cut the yarn tail. Sew the other front leg the same way. Both front legs are sewn. Make sure both sides are symmetrical. Then pull the yarn tails out from the same spot. Tie the two yarn tails together. Then cut off the excess yarn tails. Tuck the knot inside the fabric. Next, sew the hind legs. On the body, counting from the back to the front, find rounds 5 to 7. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Attach a stitch marker at the front of round 5. Attach a stitch marker at the matching spot on the other side. Round 6, round 7. Attach a stitch marker at the back of round 7 as well. Adjust the positions a little more. Once the sewing positions are confirmed, take out the hind legs and start sewing. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Insert the needle at the confirmed spot. On the next confirmed spot, pull out. Remove the stitch marker. First, secure the front and back. Then sew stitch by stitch, matching each stitch. When only a small opening remains, you can add a bit of stuffing cotton. Then keep sewing. Pass the yarn tail through the fabric several more times. Sew the other back leg the same way. Both back legs are sewn. Pull the yarn tail out from the same spot. Then tie a knot to secure. Cut off the extra yarn tails. Tuck the knot inside the fabric. Next, sew the tail. Take out the tail. Take out the pipe cleaner. Fold the pipe cleaner in half and cut it into 2 pieces. This one is already folded. Cut directly at the fold. Next, fold the pipe cleaner in half. Then give it a twist. Bend the pointed end about 0.3 inches. Now, insert the pipe cleaner into the tail. This helps shape the tail. Part of it will stick out. Push that part into the body. Now, let's find where to sew the tail. Sew the tail onto round 3 of the body, counting from the back. These are round 1, round 2, round 3. The sewing spot is roughly here. Use the sewing needle to mark the spot. Make sure the sewing spot is right in the middle of the back. Sew onto this stitch. Use a sewing needle to widen the chosen stitch. This makes it easier to insert the pipe cleaners. Insert the pipe cleaners into the chosen spot. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Sew the tail and body together. And just like that, the tail is secured. Thread the yarn tail through the fabric several times. Then trim off the extra yarn tail. You can't whisk the tail to shape it. One dachshund is completed.